What's up, home bartenders? In the last video, we took a deep dive into sherry. We talked about the different types of grapes, the different styles, and how to use them in cocktails. So if you didn't check out that video, make sure you click that link down below in the description. Go check out that video, then come back here because today we're making 3 awesome cocktails using different types of sherry. All right, let's do it. All right, so before we start, here are the sherries we're gonna be using today. All right, on the dry side, we're gonna be using Fino Sherry, Tio Pepe. I've got this Amontillado sherry from Lestau. And then finally, we've got this Faron Oloroso sherry. These are the dry sherries. As I mentioned in the sherry video, dry sherries are fairly interchangeable. So if you don't have all 3 of these bottles or all 3 of these styles of sherry, feel free to substitute or to use the same one throughout. We will also be using, however, a Pedro Jimenez sherry. This one you cannot substitute for a dry sherry because this one is a sweet sherry and it's gonna add a lot of sweetness to our cocktails, which we need. So if you don't use that particular one, you're gonna kill the balance of the cocktail. All right, let's get to it.
Okay, so our first one here, we've got our Fino Sherry. We also have some Mezcal. This is Call Mexico. Found this one on Difford's Guide and it sounded pretty awesome. But I did tweak the ratios because they use things like 1/3 of an ounce. My jiggers don't do that. So 2 ounces of Fino Sherry, 3/4 ounce of Mezcal using Vida Mezcal. We have 1/2 ounce of lime juice, 1/4 ounce of agave syrup. That's just diluted agave nectar that you get, just diluted in water, 3:1. And then they called for margarita bitters. I don't have that. I did a bit of research. Best I could come up with is a mix of Ango, lime, and lavender. But you use whatever you got, to be honest. We're going to shake it up and pour it into a Nick and Nora, and then we're going to garnish with a nice decorative lime peel there, right on the rim. There we go. Doesn't that look beautiful? Delicious Mezcal sherry cocktail. All right, we're going to move on. Next one here is the Sherry Cobbler. We got some fresh fruit. We got some 2 kinds of sherry. It's gonna be awesome. So you can do this one with fruit juices. I decided to muddle a couple wedges of orange and some pineapple, but feel free to just use a little bit of orange juice, a little bit of pineapple juice, and it'll work just fine. To get that nice and muddled, we're then gonna do 2 ounces of Oloroso sherry, followed by 3/4 ounce of Pedro Jimenez sherry. Remember, that's the sweet one. If you don't have Pedro Jimenez, you could probably use a cream sherry. Use a sweet cream sherry, that'll probably work. A little bit of maraschino liqueur and finish it up with a little bit of lime juice just to give it a little more acidity. I didn't think the fresh fruit would have enough acidity, so that's why we did that. Okay, filling a Poco Grande glass with some crushed ice. We're then going to pour, no need to double strain here. Yeah, you could get little chunks, but we're serving in crushed ice. If a little chunks make it through, not a big deal, but double strain if you want to. I didn't. All right, we're gonna top it off with a little more crushed ice, give it a straw, and garnish with a whole bunch of fresh fruit and some nice mint. There it is, looks amazing. That is the Sherry Cobbler. All right, let's move on to our final drink today. This one here has bourbon. We're using Amontillado sherry, banana liqueur homemade, and this is the Good Samaritan. Okay, this is one of those equal parts cocktail. So 1 ounce of bourbon, 1 ounce of Amontillado, 1 ounce of our homemade banana liqueur. Make sure you check out that recipe, and 1 ounce of lemon juice. Fill your glass with ice. Give it a quick shaky shake, and we're going to serve over fresh ice in a rocks glass. It's got a nice color. Gonna give it a simple garnish of a lemon wedge. And there it is, the Good Samaritan.
All right, let's taste our awesome looking sherry cocktails. We're gonna start with the Call Mexico. Cheers. That's really nice. This is nice, easy drinking because sherry is a low ABV. I'm still getting the mezcal on here, but it's not as strong as a straight mezcal cocktail. So it's very easy drinking, very refreshing, light. You get the smokiness of the mezcal, but that nice, crisp Fino Sherry kind of rides it through. I am picking up a little bit of that lavender bitters on the end. Honestly, I think the mix of bitters is not necessary. If you have the margarita bitters that Difford's recommends, use those. If not, if you have lavender bitters, 1 or 2 dashes. Otherwise, a couple dashes of Angostura will be fine, and this will still be a great cocktail. Next up, really, this one looks fantastic, the Sherry Cobbler. This will make a great brunch cocktail because it's not overly strong, it's really refreshing, it's fruity, it's sweet. This is a great cocktail. And then you got all that fruit that you can munch on at the end. Oh, this is nice. So picking up the richness of the Oloroso, that Pedro Jimenez is coming through, the sweetness. It's not overly sweet, we use just the right amount. I'm getting a hint of the maraschino, but it is in the background. This is really sherry forward. Oh yeah, I can make like pictures of this. This is fantastic. The Good Samaritan is our last cocktail. Equal part cocktails are great because they're so easy to remember. Just equal parts everything. However, I find they're hard to get right and get proper balance. You know, if it's your goal to just say, I'm gonna make an equal parts cocktail, you have to really make sure that the balance is there. Right off the bat, the Last Word cocktail, that's a great example of a equal parts cocktail that is really well balanced. If you don't know that cocktail, look it up. I know my buddy Vino's done a whole bunch of videos on it, but this one here I kind of think misses the mark. I'm picking up a little bit of banana, I'm picking up the sherry. The bourbon somehow is lost, even though the bourbon is the highest proof spirit in this. There's way too much lemon. A whole full ounce of lemon I don't think works. I mean, it's not like revolting, it's good, I'm drinking it. But definitely not my favorite of the batch. All right, so if I had to rate these, I would say number 1, the Sherry Cobbler, that is fantastic. Number 2, the Call Mexico, a nice, easy drinking. I think it's more, I think of this one more as a mezcal drink because that's really that flavor, but it's without being too strong. The sherry kind of carries it through. So nice, easy drinking. And in last place, the Good Samaritan. Not a bad drink, just I don't think it has quite that equal parts balance. I think we would have to kind of tweak the ratios a little bit. But overall, guys, this shows that sherry can definitely be not just a great modifier in cocktails, but also a great base ingredient for cocktails. So if you haven't checked out my starter's guide to sherry, make sure you click that link, check that out. And if you have sherry already, if you've got a couple bottles, make sure you try some of these cocktails. And who knows, this may just be a part 1 of a sherry series. We may do more sherry cocktails because there's a lot out there. And I've got these sherries, they're open. They gotta be used before they go bad, so we're gonna be making some sherry cocktails in the near future. So make sure you smash that like button so you don't miss when we make more sherry cocktails. We'll see you next time, guys. Cheers.